Because when people hear his name today, they often think of the same things: Hollywood, huge movies, Euphoria, Saltburn, red carpets, and that unmistakable screen presence. Jacob Elordi's story didn't begin with fame. It began in Brisbane, Australia, with a young actor trying to find his way into an industry where getting noticed can feel almost impossible. And what happened after his first big break is the part of his story that makes him so interesting, because Jacob didn't just become famous. He had to fight against the image that made him famous in the first place. Jacob Elordi was born in Brisbane, Australia in 1997. Long before Hollywood knew his name, acting was already something he was drawn toward. He performed in theater and eventually began pursuing professional acting. His first experience on a Hollywood film set actually came in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, where he appeared as an extra. It wasn't exactly the glamorous Hollywood beginning people might imagine. It was a start. Then came his first major film role in the Australian movie Swinging Safari. Jacob was slowly building experience, but he was still far from being a household name. That changed in 2018. Jacob landed the role of Noah Flynn in Netflix's The Kissing Booth, and suddenly, everything changed. The movie became a major hit with audiences, and Jacob became internationally recognizable almost overnight. He was no longer simply an aspiring actor from Australia. He was being described as a Hollywood heartthrob. Millions of people knew his face. But there was a hidden problem with becoming famous for one particular image. When audiences fall in love with a character, they can start seeing the actor as that character. Jacob was now strongly associated with Noah Flynn, the handsome, confident, romantic lead. And if he wanted a serious, long-term acting career, he had to prove there was much more to him. Then came Euphoria. Jacob took on the role of Nate Jacobs, and this was a completely different challenge. Nate was complicated, aggressive, troubled, and emotionally intense. It was almost the opposite of the image audiences had gotten from The Kissing Booth. And that was the point. Jacob wasn't simply trying to become more famous. He was trying to become a different kind of actor. His performance in Euphoria helped shift the conversation around him. People weren't only talking about his appearance anymore. They were talking about his acting. That career pivot became one of the most important moments of his journey. According to GQ, Jacob has discussed how he was determined to do what he needed to do to establish himself as an actor in the United States. His journey around the Euphoria audition came during a difficult period when he had little money and was considering returning home. The actor who had become famous for a teen romance was now proving he could handle much darker material. Then came another major transformation. In 2023, Jacob appeared in Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, playing Elvis Presley. Later that same year, he starred as Felix Catton in Emerald Fennell's Saltburn. These weren't simply attempts to repeat the formula that made him famous. They were opportunities to show range. Saltburn in particular introduced Jacob to an even wider audience, while his performance earned major critical attention and a BAFTA nomination for Best Supporting Actor. And suddenly, the conversation around Jacob Elordi had changed again. He wasn't just the guy from The Kissing Booth. He was becoming an actor capable of taking on challenging and very different roles. And that's the part of Jacob Elordi's story that the internet doesn't always see. The internet sees the fame, the photographs, the fashion, the viral moments. But behind all of that is an actor who has repeatedly tried to move beyond the role people expected him to play. From a young performer in Australia to a Netflix breakout star, to Nate Jacobs in Euphoria, and then to ambitious film roles like Priscilla and Saltburn, Jacob's career has been about reinvention. And perhaps that's what makes his story so interesting. He didn't simply become famous. He kept changing after he became famous. So the next time you see Jacob Elordi on a red carpet or on your screen, remember, you're not just looking at the heartthrob the internet discovered. You're looking at an actor who spent years trying to prove there was much more to him. And his story is far from over.